And speaking of trade and jobs, the Ford Motor Company is the latest to reverse direction on manufacturing and jobs. Ford announced today that it will cancel a planned $1.6 billion factory and invest in a Michigan plant. Ford will invest $700 million in a factory in Flat Rock, Michigan, geared to build new electric hybrid cars. Trump has threatened a levy of 35% on tax on vehicles coming back in the United States. This is a win for Michigan workers after Trump upset Clinton making promises about manufacturing in the state of Michigan. For more on this, let's turn to John Nichols, Washington correspondent of The Nation magazine. John, good to have you with us tonight. Appreciate your time. You know, a cynic would say that this is just showboating by Trump and it's really not that big of an impact. But a factory worker would say, guess what? This is a job and this is what Trump talked about. Unpack this. Who are the winners and losers on this?
Sure. I think there's a lot going on right now, and we've got to keep an eye on all of it. Donald Trump is sending a lot of mixed signals on trade, and we're going to have to see where he ends up. The pick of a trade representative who has been skeptical about past trade deals and who has had ties to U.S. manufacturing is being seen by a lot of folks who followed the trade debate as an encouraging sign. By the same token, he has filled his cabinet with many people who've been over-the-top and aggressive advocates for the Trans-Pacific Partnership and other bad trade deals. So the signal is mixed from the president. However, if we then go to this next step and look at what's happened, look, I've been to Flat Rock, Michigan, and I can tell you that auto workers in Flat Rock are going to be thrilled to see some production coming there. Obviously, you've got to get beyond the anecdotal development, right? You know, one town here, one town there, to something that is coherent nationally, where there are, you know, it really is a building up of manufacturing. But it's, you know, look, don't discourage progress in that direction.
Yeah. Well, John, there's Carrier, there's GM, and now there's Ford. And the average Joe out there across America might be asking the question, how come the Democrats didn't do this? Why didn't the Democrats? Where was the Obama administration? Are these jobs that they didn't care about, or is that a fair question?
Of course it's a fair question, and it's one of those questions that, you say the average Joe. This is a question that Democrats themselves should be asking as they select a new chairman of the Democratic National Committee, as they look toward how they want to position themselves in this next Congress. The fact of the matter is, as I said before, Donald Trump continues to send very mixed signals on trade. He has not sent a clear signal, and frankly, he hasn't begun to do enough. But he has done things that are getting notice, that are getting attention. Democrats had better step up fast, and they had better figure out that they have to have a more coherent, more aggressive demand as regards trade, but beyond that, as regards jobs, wages, the development of manufacturing, redevelopment of manufacturing in towns that have been abandoned across this country. I mean, this is going to be a central issue of 2017, 2018. And frankly, I hope Democrats and Republicans that they try to outdo each other by focusing on creating jobs. That's what we have to have, job creation in this country.
Well, is it fair to say that Donald Trump has put the political opposition on the defensive? I mean, this is an absolute. You're either going to have a factory in Flat Rock, Michigan, or you're not. And those are jobs. And there is one guy that got Ford to make that change. I think this is going to be a politically tough recovery for the Democrats, isn't it?
Well, they just have to. They've got to get serious about this. And Ed, you and I have talked about trade policy and the Democrats and trade policy for a very, very long time. I can remember talking to you about this better part of a decade ago. So, you know, look, one would hope the Democratic Party would get the point here.
Great to have you with us, John Nichols. Hope you had a great new year. Pleasure. Good to see you again. Thanks so much. Look forward to working with you again this year. Thanks so much.